Hey now, welcome to Lone Star Mini Restoration episode 32. Today I've been scratching my head a little bit. I'm trying to fit the entire floor panel on the shell as I have it, right? The floor panel and the new heel board. This is one of the few non-heritage panels that I have. And last episode I measured, just as a check, I measured these flange depths. Well, I've already found just a minor issue, but I wanted to show it. A minor issue on the difference, why this one's thicker and why it's not quite working out. As you can see, I have the heel board semi in place. And I'm going to bring the camera in a little bit closer so you can see the issue that I've run into. Let's see if you can see this. See that gap right there? That gap between the companion bin and the heel board? That's pretty large. That's like 1/8 of an inch, give or take. And because this flange was that much longer than the original flange, I can't. Right here is the pinch point. I can't push this guy any further that way forward, and it's causing that gap right there. So that's just a minor gap, right? I mean, minor issue. I can notch this just enough so that this panel will slide more this direction, and then it'll close up that gap. All right, so that's the first minor issue that I've had. The rest of the issue, right now you can see the floor pan's gone. The other issues that I'm having, I'm about to put the floor pan back on, and I'll show you the issues that I'm scratching my head over. And I'm not quite understanding. I mean, okay, keep in mind when I do this, keep in mind I've got, well, I'm going to have to remove the heel board first. So let me pop this sucker out, and then I'm going to put the floor pan in, and then I'll show you what I'm scratching my head over. Yeah. Okay, so these issues here that I'm about to show or record, I realize that I'm embarking on new territory. Cutting things out of a panel, removing the entire everything from the shell, that's pretty straightforward. You just kind of buckle down and do it, right? But now that I'm fitting a brand new floor pan with an existing, 30-year-old shell plus, things aren't quite lining up, and so this is where, being a novice, I'm not quite sure how to handle it. I mean, maybe as I'm working through it, it'll figure out. But let me show you these issues. So let me just say up front that I realize that I should not expect a brand new floor pan built, this year, last year, to fit perfectly with this beautiful shell that was, built years and years ago by hand almost. So, but I have a few issues. I'm going to point them out. And I'm always open. If anybody has any suggestions or, yeah, let me know. So let me show you. Right off the bat, okay, on this shell, this tunnel, the brand new tunnel, doesn't go as far forward as I thought it would. I mean, it stops pretty much right here. The other one, the existing one, went a little bit further up. Is that okay? Probably so. I think there's about, this much between my fingers of overlap as it is. So that's probably okay. The notch in this floor pan does not quite match where I assume this notch is really for this bolt or whatever goes here, and it's not quite there. Now I realize I'll probably have to shift this panel a little bit to get it to fit better. That one over there is a little bit, it fits actually a little bit better. So no big deal yet, right? Over here is kind of a problem in that I have about a finger's width, you can see my finger there, between the inner wing here and the floorboard. Now, I've studied the other side over there, and there's no curvature to it. That side fits okay. It fits well enough. But this side is way away. So now I plan on putting a new inner wing here, but still, this concerns me just a little bit. All right, so that's one concern. As you can see here, and I'm going to show you a different angle. As you can see here, I have the floor panel pretty much butt up against the companion bin. I can't bring it up anymore, right? I can't seem to get my inner sill up high enough to align with this. And I can't go any higher because of this guy. So that's got me scratching my head a little bit there. Right? So continuing with that thought, what I'm finding is, okay, here's the aft flange of the new floor, right? It goes all the way across. You can see it go all the way across to the other side. Now, right now, I have it pretty much in line with this flange on the companion bin. The heel board will fit into this like a glove, right? Or that's the idea. The heel board will go right here, and this flange here, along with this flange here, will both get spot welded to the heel board. So, assuming, which I've mated the heel board up, and it seems to go right here. So, assuming, let's make the assumption that that is right, because that's existing. I've not touched it, so that pretty much is a reference point. So basically, I push this one forward to line up with that. I think the idea is solid, and we'll see. But it's like that on the other side too, if you can see. Now, if you look inside, what you'll see, or what I've noticed is, see, I push the, right now, I have pushed the inner sill up high enough so that it mates with the companion bin, right? Now, the companion bin was rusted away, and there's a lot of spots that you'll see light through. But those spots that are dark, where it actually hits the companion bin, those are actually flanges where the companion bin was. So I can't, because of that, I cannot push this up any higher. And you can see the flange on the outside here. Let me try to point to it. The flange down there where it goes up between the companion bin and the shell. I mean, that fits nice. I mean, everything there is good. All right, but you can see that, right? And my light just went out. So, what I'm saying is, right now, I have the heel board flush with the flange, or the heel board, mind the gap. I have the floorboard flanges flush with the flanges on the companion bin. That pretty much tells me that that's the face of the heel board, where it should go. Now, of course, I will put the heel board in place and see, because it only goes into one spot, and I'll see how well that lines up. The height of it concerns me, because I'm not getting this flange. Let me come back in here. I'm not getting this guy to line up. So, yeah, I don't know what to say there. Yeah, so you can see why I'm scratching my head a little, because this guy right here is not lining up. Now, I realized I could always take the companion bin and I could move it up so that this floorboard comes up, but maybe this wall on the inner sill is too tall. I can't measure it on the other board because it's all cut out. It was all rusted and nasty. So anyhow, so there's that, right? There's that. And of course, Because the flange on the floorboard matches up with the flange on the bag companion bin, you know, this is about as far forward as it's going to go. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the notches not lining up perfectly. But this gap right here is a little bit troublesome. Now maybe the you know, this was all rusted out down there. Maybe the inner wing actually comes out a little bit more, you know, than this. Maybe because this had like 4 or 5 okay, 2 or 3 patch jobs down here. I cut away a heck of a lot of patches, and so it was built up. So maybe this guy actually comes out a little bit. All right, so that's it. I mean, those are my issues. I think I have the hill board. I've got everything there located correctly. It's this dadgum floorboard. I have like shifted, twisted. I've had my girls out here helping me do both sides at the same time, because every time I do one side by myself, the other side gets out of whack. We've been like pulling, pushing, twisting, turning, and we just can't seem to get the back lined up, and then that front gap lined up, and then the height. You know, I thought for sure I was doing this right, and I cannot, on the right-hand side, I can get the inner wing to match the doorstep almost perfectly. I can get that wonderful. But the other side, man, I can't get there. So I'm scratching my head a little. But I just wanted to document this and let anybody else know in case you're doing this. There's tweaking involved. It's just not a matter of plug and play. Or, you know, putting a square peg in a square hole. Doesn't quite work that well. But that's it. I'm going to sign off for now. It's November. Wow, the year's almost shot. So thanks for watching, and bye just now.